on this Monday night.
We see them, now we can pull them over.
With the new year comes new laws, including some of the toughest in the country. What you need to know about the new penalties when you reach for your phone.
There's no joke. This is someone who's upset because people came out of a tragedy and they've become civically engaged.
Comedian Louis C.K. stirs fresh outrage with tone-deaf jokes that mock survivors of the Parkland school shooting.
How many of you?
This is a circus.
And a look back at the year that was, from caves to courts to celebrations, plus the lives lived and lost in 2018. This is The National. We are just hours away from 2019, and police across the country have a New Year's resolution in mind for Canadians. If you're still in the habit of reaching for your phones while behind the wheel, give it up or face the consequences. As Olivia Stefanovic explains, drivers had better start paying attention if they want to stay on the road.
I'm just gonna drive up and down the shoulder here.
On Canada's busiest highway.
Oh, there, right there.
It doesn't take long for Ontario Provincial Police Sergeant Kerry Schmidt to spot a distracted driver.
You know why I'm stopping you?
Probably because I had my phone.
Probably because you had your phone. That's right.
The excuse?
And the contractor called me from site. They had a question, and I took the call.
It's a reflex that Ontario is trying to put the brakes on. Starting tomorrow, drivers caught talking, texting, dialing, or looking up directions on their handheld devices will be fined up to $1,000, receive 3 demerit points, and lose their license for 3 days. If they're caught again, it will cost them $2,000. A third time, $3,000. They're the toughest penalties for repeat distracted drivers in the country, enough to make this driver change his behavior.
And this will make you think twice.
This will make me think 3 times, actually.
Distracted driving has been the leading cause of death on Ontario roads for the last 5 years, claiming 83 lives in 2017.
It's absolutely heartbreaking and frustrating.
But some feel the new laws don't go far enough. This legal expert is pushing for a private member's bill in the Ontario legislature that would force offenders to take mandatory driving courses and perform community service.
Some meaningful penalties so that you have a real deterrence out there.
Others want to see a broader educational campaign to convince people just how dangerous distracted driving is.
Helping people recognize that would be an important step forward.
Schmidt agrees.
And we need everyone to really step up and make this socially unacceptable.
He says police can't ticket their way into compliance, but starting tomorrow, that's exactly what they'll do. Olivia Stefanovic, CBC News, Toronto.
Of course, distracted driving isn't just an Ontario issue, it's a national one. And almost every province and territory has some form of law limiting the use of cell phones. Many of them, in fact, were just toughened up this year. According to CAA, drivers will be docked between 3 and 6 demerit points for each convictions. The fines range from a minimum of $173 in New Brunswick to, as Olivia mentioned there, $3,000 if it's a repeated offence in Ontario. The only exception to all of this, Nunavut, where there is no distracted driving law yet, anyway. And Ottawa will also be ushering in a whole host of tax changes tomorrow affecting Canadians and businesses. Canada's pension plan will start to cost a little more this year as contributions increase slightly, a move meant to improve the plan over the long term and one that will mostly benefit Canadians just entering the workforce. Employment insurance premiums will drop to make up some of that cost. Small businesses will see some immediate relief in the new year, with their tax rate falling from 10% to 9%. Ottawa wants to encourage owners to reinvest their earnings back in their business or hire more people rather than sitting on the cash. So if a small business has more than $50,000 in passive income, money being saved inside the business, it will lose access to the lower tax rate. This year also marks the year when the federal government's carbon tax plan will hit all provinces, imposed on those who don't have their own. For consumers, Ottawa estimates it'll mean an extra 4.42 cents a litre at the pumps, but the government also says it will give out an annual rebate that should offset those increases. Britain and France have agreed to increase patrols in the English Channel to stop migrants from reaching the UK by boat. Until recently, it was rare for migrants to arrive there by sea, but about 240 people have come ashore since November now. As Briar Stewart reports, some human rights advocates are urging politicians to try to keep things in perspective.
This morning on a beach in southeast England, what's become a familiar scene, an inflatable raft. This one carried 12 Iranian migrants, including a 10-year-old child, across the channel, a stretch of water that will now be more closely watched by British authorities.
Given the current situation, the right thing to do is to redeploy some of those assets and make sure that we are both protecting human life, but at the same time protecting our borders.
The UK is pulling back 2 of its ships from the Mediterranean and stationing them in the English Channel, where they will join one other boat already on patrol.
Morning, Home Secretary.
Today, Britain's Home Secretary met with the UK Border Force after he and other officials found themselves under increasing pressure to do something. Since Christmas Eve, it's estimated that more than 100 migrants have made the perilous crossing, and some are now calling for them to be sent back. The MP for Dover even wants to see the British boats be allowed to drop the migrants back off in France.
So that anyone found in the English Channel, in one of these unseaworthy craft, can be helped carefully and safely back to the French coast so they know there's no chance of getting into Britain.
That will almost certainly be a tough sell. Still, there are others who think the whole conversation has been totally blown out of proportion in Britain, considering there are much poorer countries who have taken in many more people, like the 700,000 Rohingya refugees who fled to Bangladesh.
There we see, and in other places, huge numbers of people forced across borders. And here we are having a massive panic over a couple of dozen people who've arrived on the Kent coast.
But officials don't like the trend and are trying to get a handle on it before more people think this is a new path toward asylum in the UK. Briar Stewart, CBC News, London.
In some quarters, Elizabeth Warren is best known as a Trump punchline. The firebrand U.S. Senator from Massachusetts, though, is determined to change that. Warren is the first prominent Democrat contender to step forward and announce that she may be preparing a presidential bid. But she certainly won't be the last. And as Ron Charles explains, to get to Trump, Warren first needs to win over Democrats.
I'm Elizabeth Warren. This is my husband. Since I've made the announcement this morning, I've already received donations from all 50 states, the District of Columbia, and Puerto Rico.
Elizabeth Warren isn't committing to running just yet, but an exploratory committee allows her to gather money and staff.
I worry about electability.
The former Harvard law professor promotes populism from the left.
Now, look, I'm in this fight because I understand what's happening to working families.
She's taken on big banks, corporate CEOs, and the politicians who support them.
The problem we've got right now in Washington is that it works great for those who've got money to buy influence.
Warren faces a potentially crowded field for the Democratic nomination. Potential rivals, some of her young Senate colleagues, including Kirsten Gillibrand, Cory Booker, and Kamala Harris, and likely former Vice President Joe Biden and Senator Bernie Sanders.
Very smart move by Elizabeth Warren. Timing is everything. She starts the new year ahead of the others.
But Democratic political consultant Hank Scheinkampf predicts a dream ticket that doesn't include Warren.
Joe Biden looks better by the minute with Kamala Harris as the vice presidential candidate. That gives him everything. It gives him gender. It gives him race. It gives him experience.
Also, Warren is not without controversy and missteps. She responded to Donald Trump's taunts about her claims to Native American ancestry.
They call her Pocahontas.
By taking a DNA test that suggested some Native blood, but that angered many Native leaders who argued their communities are about more than DNA.
If we organize together,
A campaign-style video Warren released today shows a couple of images of Donald Trump and describes where she believes he's taking the nation.
Build that wall.
But this dark path doesn't have to be our future.
But she never mentions him by name, a new tact in what promises to be a long and combative contest. Ron Charles, CBC News, Washington.
Staying in Washington, if anyone expected some New Year turnaround in the 10-day-long U.S. government shutdown, those hopes were dashed with the drop of a gavel today.
Under the previous order, the Senate stands adjourned until 4 p.m. on Wednesday, January 2nd, 2019.
And that is a wrap in the U.S. Senate. Both chambers of Congress were open for just a few minutes today, with exactly zero action to end the shutdown. The problem, of course, is that lawmakers are still up against a wall. Donald Trump's wall, in fact. The U.S. president continues to demand a barrier across the U.S.-Mexican border. The new Democrat-led House is expected to pass a bill funding the government again, but there'll be no money for a wall. Speaking of things Trump wants.
I think the president's very committed to making sure that when we leave Syria, that ISIS is completely defeated. So I think we're in a pause situation.
That was U.S. Republican Senator Lindsey Graham, seemingly reassured by the president's Syria policy. Trump's recent decision to pull U.S. troops from Syria was controversial, even prompted the resignation of his defense secretary. But by tweet today, the president seemed to confirm Graham's hint that this is not the rapid withdrawal it originally looked like, saying, quote, "We're slowly sending our troops back home." Dutch military police have arrested a 51-year-old Canadian man after a bomb threat at Amsterdam's airport. The departure and arrivals halls were evacuated as a precaution. No explosives were found, and the airport has since reopened. The investigation is ongoing, and police expect to have an update tomorrow. Today is the tax deadline for charitable donations in 2018, and if previous years are any indication, Canadians will give at least $14 billion to help others. But as Karen Pauls tells us, baby boomers, they give a lot, younger Canadians less. And for charities she spoke to, that's a disturbing trend.
The children of South Sudan that we just met, they mentioned that going to school is like a dream.
Bayan Yamut's Grade 5 Global Citizen Club is learning why 58 million children around the world are not in school like they are.
It's a long way to school, and there might be people catching you and trying to shoot guns. They don't have washrooms.
Yamut lived in Lebanon's war zone for 17 years, so she knows firsthand why it's important to teach more fortunate children about social justice and philanthropy.
You'll be able to turn this empathy and compassion into action.
Try that soup too.
Reaching young people has become a top priority for charities. Some recent studies show Canadians over 50 donate 75% of all individual gifts, worth $4.3 billion. And the next generation isn't stepping up. Donors under 40 dropped to 22% in 2014 from 41% in 1985.
As elderly parents pass down their wealth, charities like this one aren't necessarily benefiting from it. That's because their children may be using that money to pay down their debt, go on a trip, or buy a cottage.
If we're to look at about 30% of giving heading that way, if that doesn't translate into continued giving, that will put significant financial stress on an already stressed charitable fundraising system. The kind of fundraising approach that you might take for a 75-year-old donor versus a 20-year-old donor, that messaging, that very delivery vehicle might be quite different.
For example, UNICEF Canada has done away with those orange change boxes kids used to carry at Halloween. It's now focusing on educating children.
This is our giving catalog.
The Mennonite Central Committee recently sent out surveys to find out what projects donors will support.
We'll have to be clear about our message and what value we bring to our donors.
World Vision Canada's online catalog and child sponsorship program are still attracting baby boomers, but it's doing a lot of research to find out how to mobilize young people.
We need to reach them when they're available. It's on their terms.
What kind of activities would you or games you would plan?
Back at the Global Citizens Club, they're planning a fundraiser for students in South Sudan.
I really liked how we're helping other children like us all around the world.
These young people, at least, are getting the message. Karen Pauls, CBC News, Winnipeg.
Lots more still ahead on the Nationals this New Year's Eve edition. In what is now a tradition around here, our 2018 edition of Rewind, a look back at the moments and the lives that left their imprint on the year. But next, comedian Louis C.K., he's in trouble again. This time it's over his mocking of survivors of the Parkland school shooting.
He's just swung open the door and gone, you know what? I'm going down in flames and I'm going to take as many people with me as possible.
How do women still go out with guys when you consider the fact that there is no greater threat to women than men?
Louis C.K. was telling that joke before 5 women came forward late last year to accuse him of sexual misconduct. The comic then admitted their claims were true for the most part. He pledged to step back and take some time to listen. Today, though, people are listening to Louis C.K. once again, and many are angered by who he's chosen to ridicule, survivors of the worst school shooting in the United States. The CBC's Chris O'Neill-Yates examines his corrosive comeback.
This is not a racist joke.
Louis C.K. was always known for his Take No Prisoners comedy, but the audio recording of his recent set at a Long Island club seems to go further. He mocks transgender people and people with developmental challenges. He also lashes out at Parkland students for mounting a gun control campaign and testifying before Congress after 17 people were killed at a school shooting.
You're not interesting. Because you went to a high school where kids got shot? Why does that mean I have to listen to you? How does that make you interesting? You didn't get shot. You pushed some fat kid in the way, and then now I gotta listen to you talking?
For those who lost friends and loved ones, Louis C.K.'s commitment to self-improvement rings hollow.
He pretty much was like, these stories are true, I apologize, I'm gonna step back and listen. And the problem is that he didn't make an actual genuine effort to listen.
Ryan Deitch, a survivor of the shooting and an anti-gun activist, tweeted, "It's a shame when you sink so low that your comeback plan is to make fun of school shooting survivors for speaking out." Fred Gutenberg tweeted, "To anyone who knows Louis C.K., please deliver this message for me. My daughter was killed in the Parkland shooting. My son ran from the bullets. My wife and I deal with loss every day. Why don't you come to my house and try out your new pathetic jokes?" If this is Louis C.K.'s idea of a comeback, it's not funny, says Ween.
Where's the joke? That's what no one's really been able to explain to me at this point. There's no joke. This is someone who's upset because people came out of a tragedy and they've become civically engaged? Is that what the joke is?
But Louis C.K. seems to say he really can't sink any further.
What, are you going to take away my birthday? My life is over. I don't give a shit. You can be offended. It's okay. You can get mad at me.
Judging from all the laughter, the crowd loved it. Chris O'Neill-Yates, CBC News, Vancouver.
You may remember in response to the Parkland school shooting, Donald Trump suggested arming teachers to protect defenseless students and staff. We sent our video journalist, Leonardo Pelea, to Texas, where teachers were being taught to use a gun in an emergency. Here's what he saw from behind the lens.
I think it's that moment when that picture tells the whole story.
Ceasefire! Ceasefire!
So the one that I remember really well, vividly, is the one that we shot in Arlington, Texas. It was just after the shooting in Parkland, in Florida. Maybe less than 10 days after that, we were at an academy which was training teachers to carry firearms in classrooms. So these teachers had to face these shooters that were coming into their classrooms. And they were shooting with training rounds that were 10 times more powerful than paintball rounds. So that if they hit you, they hurt. So one of the teachers, her name was Jay-Z. We were following her since the beginning of the training. There's this moment when this shooter enters through the door of the classroom and she faces him.
Go, go, go!
Get over in the corner. Get chairs in front of you.
And she tries to shoot, but she can't. She fumbles the gun, and she's now protecting herself with one of her hands. And so you think, how that makes sense. For me to see her face, her expression, I needed to be there. I wasn't even thinking that I could be shot at, which I was. But it doesn't matter, right? When you are trying to get the shot, that's what matters the most. And yeah, there's pressure to do it, but I'm good with the pressure. I kind of welcome that feeling that there's pressure to get it, to get this great, potentially great moment.
We have to take a short break, but up next, our look back at some of the moments that shaped the year, from a wedding that put the royal touch on Hollywood, yeah, you know which one, to the experience of surviving a monster tornado in eastern Ontario.
My daughter was in the air. That's our unit over there. And when it ripped our roof, my daughter, she went flying up and I'm holding her hand.
Tonight we're taking stock of the history we witnessed in 2018. In some ways, it was a year of extremes, from crazy weather to unspeakable violence. But there were also moments of joy and victory, not to mention romance. Here's our Rewind 2018.
The melting polar ice, the droughts, the mega storms. Climate scientists say they're already the results of the globe warming by 1 degree since the industrial age. In their report today, scientists with the UN's Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change issued a dire warning that the Earth can only handle another ½ degree more.
For different regions, for extremes, for ecosystems, livelihoods, it's very clear that ½ degree matters.
At about 4:40 p.m. it hit Dunrobin, a semi-rural community 35 kilometers west of downtown Ottawa.
My daughter was in the air. That's our unit over there. And when it ripped our roof, my daughter, she went flying up and I'm holding her hand.
Just imagine fire on either side of the road, flames licking the undercarriage of your car, then your car dies.
With hundreds of fires burning across the province, the BC government has declared a provincial state of emergency.
The mudslide surrounded my car as I was
looked
driving.
Over at the river and the trees were just coming down, choo, choo, choo.
Just to give you a sense of the rising waters already, we were here yesterday. This is basically a parking lot. I'm up to about my knees. It gets deeper with every foot.
In the far north of the Philippines, raging waters swept away trees and roads. Flooding was also widespread in Hong Kong and across southern China.
The dams feeding Cape Town's water grid are now less than a quarter full, and people have been told to limit what they use from the taps to 50 liters per person per day, or watch the city run dry.
What does it mean for a country like South Africa to have a city like Cape Town on the verge of losing its water?
Well, it's a total disaster for us. It shows the impact, the negative impact of climate change.
So sometimes we think, oh, it's so cold this winter, you know, how could the planet be warming? But the glaciers are telling us that yes, over time, we have a warming planet.
There may still be ice, but it's not going to be there long enough to support and sustain a polar bear subpopulation here in western Hudson Bay.
These are just dishonest, terrible people. I'm telling you that. Terrible people. You know, CNN, fake news, MSNBC, you know, that's really the enemy of the people.
A California man was arrested for making violent threats against the Boston Globe. In one of 12 calls to the paper, Robert Chain allegedly said, "You're the enemy of the people. We're going to kill every effing one of you."
If I may ask one other question, Mr. President, if I may ask one other question, are you worried?
That's enough. That's enough.
Mr. President,
that's enough.
I was going to ask one of the other folks.
That's enough.
Pardon me, ma'am.
Excuse me. That's enough.
Mr. President, I had one other question, if I may ask. Are you worried about indictment?
CNN should be ashamed of itself having you working for them.
In Jim's defense, I've traveled with him and watched him. He's a diligent reporter who busts.
Well, I'm not a big fan of yours either. You are the enemy of the people. Go ahead.
Mr. President, why are you pitting Americans against one another, sir?
Peter, what are you trying to be him? Because they are the fake disgusting news.
There's a fire alarm here. You might have heard it in the background. We're going to find out what the latest is here at CNN. We're going to be right back.
But CNN's New York anchors were not right back. They were forced to report on the crude explosive device from the sidewalk. Later, Hillary Clinton spoke about the device addressed to her.
It is a troubling time, isn't it?
Yet again in this country, first responders race to the scene even as the event unfolds.
Okay, after we got about 4 bodies down inside.
Those images of Americans led away from the scene of yet another mass shooting. This one at the offices of the Annapolis Capital-Gazette newspaper in Maryland.
Most of the men MacArthur is accused of killing are among the same men police had been looking for years before.
It's a serial killer.
A twisted portrait of MacArthur begins to emerge.
Well, once again, we're live here on The National following major breaking news in Toronto. There are local media reports of
before the gunshots, sirens, and police tape. Danforth Avenue had been, as it always is on warm summer nights, a popular strip of restaurants, cafes, and ice cream shops, a draw for families. The chilling video shows how quickly a gunman can turn a best-loved neighborhood into 5 blocks of carnage.
We were eating and the guy started shooting, and we were sitting actually out on the patio and we heard shots, so we went inside, and then he came in the restaurant and he shot the girl right in front of me.
It all started around 1:30 this afternoon.
Which way was he going?
Police started getting calls about a van that had driven up onto a sidewalk fast, mowing down everything in its path.
Wu says the van braked, then sped off again, driving on the sidewalk for several more blocks, hitting one pedestrian after another. Hours later, dozens of officers and the coroner were still here, assessing the carnage. The victims still here too.
Just after 7 a.m., a call went out to Fredericton Police. Shots had been fired. At 7:10, 2 officers responded to this apartment complex.
The police was telling everybody to stay low and away from your windows.
At 8:17 a.m., the first few tragic details trickled in from police. Multiple fatalities. Then a little more specific. At least 4 people killed.
According to officials, there are 17 people dead. The alleged shooter is alive and in custody. And the community of Parkland, Florida, a placid suburb about halfway between Miami and Palm Beach, it is reeling from a day of terror and tragedy.
Never again! Never again! Never again! We are tired of fearing for our lives!
Welcome to the revolution.
Yesterday's shooting rampage at the Tree of Life synagogue, say police, a hate crime, didn't just leave 11 dead, it left a city stunned. The accused, Robert Bowers, reportedly shouted, "All Jews must die," as he opened fire. He may face the death penalty.
Very sad. It's a very sad day. We always said never again. But it did happen again.
And every day begins like this. As the sun gets up, it gets hot, and there are little people to push along. Jacqueline Cordonis' 3-year-old begged her days ago to quit walking. She wouldn't, but she managed to get a stroller. Her family fled poverty and gang-related violence.
Free the children now! Free the children now!
Not far from one of those detention centers in Texas, growing outrage over how the Trump administration treats illegal migrants. Specifically, children separated from their families after a directive from Donald Trump himself.
And what we know at this point is that the RCMP has, as you say, confirmed a number of fatalities and a number of injuries involving a passenger hockey bus.
We're gathered in a state of shock and unthinkable heartache. This tragedy has devastated our families, our Humboldt Broncos organization, our community, Saskatchewan, Canada, and our world.
How many of you? 13. Brilliant.
After days searching through dark, flooded chambers, this was the moment rescuers found the entire soccer team alive. The boys and their coach went into the cave as part of a team outing, but heavy rain flooded the way out, trapping them deep inside. Rescue crews, including those from the UK, China, and the US, had been painstakingly searching in the treacherous conditions.
Just days ago, it seemed their story might end in tragedy, but Thailand's daring rescue plan came through.
It's not just like the kids of their parents anymore. They have become our kids as well now. Ah, it's so nice. A lot of happy people here tonight in Thailand.
First, it was Ford's harrowing tale of sexual assault at a high school gathering 36 years ago.
I was pushed onto the bed, and Brett got on top of me.
Locked in a bedroom, she described Kavanaugh as visibly drunk, groping her, pulling at her clothes.
I believed he was going to rape me.
This is a circus. The consequences will extend long past my nomination. The consequences will be with us for decades.
Calling it a tremendous 24 hours with a very talented Kim Jong-un.
We will have a terrific relationship, I have no doubt.
But our relationship has never been worse than it is now. However, that changed as of about 4 hours ago.
At 3:47 p.m., a camera then picked them up on a stroll. They then made their way to a nearby park, where an eyewitness noticed they'd collapsed on a bench after what police say was a suspected exposure to an unknown substance.
That it is highly likely that Russia was responsible for the act against Sergei and Yulia Skripal.
Canada will always stand up for human rights.
Canada knows what it needs to do. Canada started this, and it's up to Canada to find a way out of it.
Canadians have always expected our government to speak strongly, firmly, clearly, and politely about the need to respect human rights at home and around the world.
Khashoggi, a dissident Saudi journalist living in exile in the U.S., went missing October 2nd. Last seen on this security video going into that consulate, Turkey believes a Saudi assassination squad was waiting inside and that he was captured, killed, and perhaps dismembered.
Many believed this day would never arrive. Donald Trump hated NAFTA and relied on his country's size, might, and used the threat of tariffs to get what he wanted at the negotiating table.
By the way, without tariffs, we wouldn't be talking about a deal. Just for those babies out there that keep talking about tariffs.
To keep the deal alive, the Prime Minister knew Canada would have to make concessions, admitting today some were more difficult than others.
Free and fair trade in North America is in a much more stable place than it was yesterday.
Thousands of General Motors workers and their families are suddenly in a very precarious spot.
This is a move that is going to have a huge impact. Obviously, the thousands of workers themselves, their families, but the economic ripple effect will be felt far beyond General Motors.
I've been through a closure in London. I moved my family twice for this company, and they do this to me. It's terrible.
Peter Tosh's Weed Anthem, Legalize It, came out back in 1975. And today, over 40 years later, Canadians bought their first legal gram of pot at midnight in St. John's.
You've got a bag full of dope here, so I assumed, wow, you're just going to be stoned all the time.
No. This is for, like, I want to help people understand the importance of, like, knowing what you're doing before you get into it.
This is not the kind of reception Donna Strickland is used to in her laser lab at the University of Waterloo. Rockstar treatment for an associate physics professor who happens to have just won a Nobel Prize.
Canadian Space Agency.
His mission is expected to last more than 6 months, so he'll have lots of time to get used to his new, weightless home high above the Earth.
Touchdown on Mars by NASA's latest Martian landing machine, part of a project dubbed InSight.
I'm still trying to absorb everything that happened because it seems surreal to me.
I had forgotten there was an Olympics this year, and I went there. When we come back, remembering some of the people we lost in 2018.
You can come to a concert and really not feel quite up to it that night, and the audience can put you there.
If you're going to continue to be a writer, you cannot become totally involved, no matter how intriguing certain sides of the thing you're writing about may be.
For the rest of us, autumn is not all that sublime. For us, it's a kind of desperate no man's land, separating the hot and humid insect-plagued tyranny we've survived from the one that's about to club us over the head. Winter's coming.
Just suppose there's a 10% possibility that there is a hell. Is it worth taking the chance?
My illness has meant that I cannot use pencil and paper, so I have to do things in my head. I'm impatient with waste of time. There is so much I want to do.
Bulger's rule of Boston's crime scene casts a large shadow in the American imagination. He had been an FBI informant for decades. That legal cover allowed Bulger to indulge in racketeering, loan sharking, extortion, drug dealing, and especially murder.
It was a very rapid rise from being an immigrant boy.
Stop by Stanley, front for the left side door. And Makeda.
At short goal,
Originally from New Orleans, Staub joined the Montreal Expos from Houston for their very first season in the majors in 1969. He became an instant fan favorite. Maybe it was that shock of red hair. That's where the nickname Rusty came from.
I've learned that it's a lot easier to teach kindness than it is to teach hate.
I'm in constant pain, and most of the time I'm limited to my wheelchair. But that's the last negative thing you're ever going to hear from me. Instead, I want to share my dreams with you.
I think stardom is something that exists for people who watch movies, not for people who are in movies.
I've gotten along with people everywhere in this world and heard some incredible stories, largely because I sit down without an agenda and just ask the very simple question: what's for dinner? What makes you happy?
Greetings, true believers. I'm Stan Lee.
He was the king of comics, the charismatic man behind the Marvel Universe, the face of Marvel for so many decades.
So I don't think it matters whether they're monsters or what. I think the important thing is the reader and the viewer in television has to care about the character.
Need help with my boy, Zach. Patricia, I need my full kit. Maggie? Yes? Painkillers, coagulants, grab everything.
Mary Pratt's work has been defined by color and the way she captured light.
I think I trained myself from a very early age to think of the day in color.
Sally used to carry my friends to school. Sally was a big old girl. She helped me with my homework because I was a fool. Sally was a good old girl.
I think there are many things that we can do to better life for as many citizens as is humanly possible. You have to interpret the facts. It's not enough just to relate the facts of the day. You've got to put them in a context that is a moral one.
My husband has been fighting for the liberation of the African people, for the working harmoniously of all the racial groups in this country.
And the purpose of our movements will be justified in every step forward we make.
And I do not want the Quebec nation to lose another referendum.
So this proud man here, this is Ismail Khalil. Ismail was a pharmacist in Raqqa before ISIS took over.
As we say goodbye to 2018, in some parts of the world, of course, it's already 2019. Our moment of the day is a Canadian who wanted to celebrate so badly, he went the distance. That's next.
My wife and I are traveling for a full year. We took a year off of work and wanted to be in one of the places that celebrate New Year's first.
Three, two, one.
You're looking at Canada's first midnight fireworks to usher in 2019. They lit up the skies over St. John's tonight. You can catch fireworks from across the country on CBC Television right after the National on our New Year's Eve countdown. But first, there's another place far away that also has a reputation for celebration. One of the first places, in fact, on Earth to ring in 2019 is Sydney, Australia, and they always do it in a big way. So we tracked down an Ontario man who's traveling the world with his wife, and they were there for the midnight spectacle. Here's Corey Windover with our moment of the day.
It's only 12 minutes, but pretty spectacular. We went down to the harbor front where millions of people were down there. They closed off all the streets and they put on a big fireworks display over the Opera House, and it was something else for sure. It's interesting to be, so far ahead of everybody else right now. I don't know how I'm going to go back to real life.
This is real life. It ain't so bad. That's the National for this Monday, the last day of 2018. Happy New Year. I hope 2019 is good to you.